What's going on, guys? Welcome back to hashtag GSM for GM Season 4, Episode 46 in WWE 2K25 MyGM Mode. I'm Graham GSM Matthews. Hope you guys are doing well. We are on the road to WrestleMania 2008. This is the Fallout show from Survivor Series 2008. Here is what is on tap for today's episode. We have Jey Uso and Jacob Fatu rekindling their rivalry, as if it ever really ended officially. But Jey Uso just beat Roman Reigns last week on SmackDown. Not on last week's episode, that was the pay-per-view. But on the last SmackDown we did, Jey Uso finally beat Roman Reigns with an assist from Jimmy Uso. We will hear from him tonight. We're turning him back babyface, hence the role change. But Jey Uso will go one-on-one with Jacob Fatu. Interference from Roman Reigns. This is all setting up the big tag team match on the pre-WrestleMania SmackDown in a few weeks. Aleister Black takes on SmackDown newcomer Wes Lee, who we just got from Raw. We traded LA Knight for Wes Lee and Logan Paul. I know it doesn't exactly sound like a fair trade, but we've never had Logan Paul on SmackDown before. Wes Lee was successful when he was last here. He was actually involved in our main event of Mania years ago. But anyway, he takes on Aleister Black here tonight. Jada Parker calls out Julia. They have gone one-on-one before. I forgot about that, but this will be rekindling that mini feud. They didn't really have a feud, but Jada Parker's coming off a win over Candice LeRae at the pay-per-view. Julia having beaten Lita. They will clash soon here on SmackDown. Kane takes on SmackDown newcomer Logan Paul. So that should be an interesting matchup as Kane inches closer to United States Championship contention. Becky Lynch role change here tonight to go heel officially. We could say, she and Charlotte won their tag team match at Survivor Series, but maybe Becky turned on her afterward or, they teased some dissension. Becky will go heel heading into their rematch at WrestleMania for the WWE Women's title. And then in our main event, CM Punk and Finn Balor one-on-one. We should make this a step match. Their last match we watched was a regular-ass match, and they're going to continue the feud after this. Let's go Falls Count Anywhere, actually. I kind of like that. We'll go Falls Count Anywhere here tonight, regardless of who wins, because the whole thing with their last match, Balor injured Punk in their match, but Punk won by countout. So I think it makes sense to... And Punk has beaten Balor by countout before as well. So to ensure there's no countouts this time, they'll face off in a Falls Count Anywhere affair tonight on SmackDown. I think as far as the power cards go and whatnot, we are good for now. Show logistics, we're good. We really could afford to buy all this shit, but at this point, I don't really want to bother, to be perfectly honest with you. The show quality would go up a little bit, so I guess we could buy let's just buy this shit now. It's only 150,000 if we buy tier 2 for all this shit. Fog effects. Boom. Local signage. It helps the show, helps it go up by 15% collectively, so I guess that always helps. Anyway, that is our show. We will be watching the main event, so let's not waste any more time, and we will get into it. We could not use several people on the show tonight. Raw blocked us from using a whole bunch of people, so fuck Raw for that, but we ended up having a pretty solid card with what we were left with. And we will be doing Gunther and Penta next week. We were supposed to do it on this show. We were blocked from using either person. They will finally have their match. After Penta called out Gunther at the pay-per-view, they will collide on next week's SmackDown. So we have that to look forward to next week. We are in Calgary, Canada tonight. Confirm booking. We'll simulate the whole show up until the main event. We have to simulate this match, a tables match. So we'll open and close with two stipulation matches tonight. 1, 2, 3. Jey Uso beats Jacob Fatu again. He beats Roman Reigns 2 weeks ago, or on SmackDown last week, rather. And then he beats Jacob Fatu, who he already beat a few months back to end that feud for the time being. So Jey Uso really riding a wave of momentum. We could say that Roman Reigns' interference was thwarted by Jimmy Uso. So he's officially a babyface. We will simulate this match. Aleister Black and Wes Lee. Aleister Black goes over. I like that. I'm surprised Wes Lee did not get hurt. Gonna be honest with you. I might turn Aleister Black heel anyway to kind of feud with Wes Lee going into Mania, because I don't really have any plans for either guy in the interim. But I'm glad Aleister Black won. New feud between Jada and Julia. We'll be simulating Kane and Logan Paul. 1, 2, 3. Kane continues his winning ways. New feud between the two, interestingly enough. Okay. All right, so Kane will soon challenge Gunther for the United States Championship. He beat Roman Reigns. He beat Jacob Fatu. He's been on a bit of a roll recently, has Kane, so he will challenge Gunther in the next couple of weeks for that championship. Becky goes heel. And then the main event that we will be watching, CM Punk and Finn Balor in a Falls Count Anywhere match. And they've had a handful of matches before. I mentioned that one of them actually ended in countout. Not only their last encounter, but one of their matches on pay-per-view a few years ago. I think Punk did go on to, or rather Balor went on to beat Punk, but it wasn't on pay-per-view. I think it was on SmackDown. I'd have to go back and look. But a very well-documented history between these two men. Also playing off their match in real life from a few weeks ago. They fought on Raw for the World Heavyweight Championship. They're still feuding now in real life, so I feel like it's life imitating art, or necessarily, I guess, 2K25. All right, Punk looks great in this game. He looks fantastic. I love Punk's model. Just for what it's worth, I know the 2K26 stuff, all the news is rolling out right now and whatnot. I don't know if I'm getting 2K26. I do have an Xbox One, or whatever the fucking new Xbox is. I have that, but I'm not comfortable using it for games like this, and it's also not as easy to record. I just like playing on the PS4. So if they don't come out with the new 2K games for this console, which I completely understand why, the PS4 is almost a decade old at this point, I would get it. I would understand why, and I might not be able to play the game. So we might be closing in on our final episodes of hashtag GSM for GM, at least for right now. We'll deal with that when we get to it. But for now, Balor scouting Punk, getting him back to his feet, kicking the side, and then taking him out with a sling blade right in the middle of the ring. Balor's been on a bit of a roll himself this year on SmackDown, twice challenging for the United States Championship, and both times coming up short against Gunther. Nice splash there to Punk. Balor in full control, 2 count and a kick out at 2. Balor's going to make sure he doesn't lose this one by count out, neither does CM Punk. Balor was going for something, and he came up completely short. But still, in complete control of Punk here, former WWE Champion is CM Punk. Think of what, a 3-time WWE Champion, right? He's been champion quite a bit. He won the title for the first time years ago from Sami Zayn in the main event of WrestleMania. He then lost it soon after, but got it back in a triple threat at WrestleMania and held it for most of the year before losing it to Jey Uso, and then now losing it to Seth Rollins just a couple of months ago. As he drags Balor to the center of the ring. Punk's got to get back into it if he wants to be involved in the championship conversation at some point again. Although he did lose his rematch to Seth Rollins, he can't challenge for the championship again anytime soon. Nice powerbomb there to Balor as Rollins recovers from his injury. We're hoping to have Rollins back in time for WrestleMania. And here it is, the Anaconda of Ice from CM Punk on Balor. Will he force Balor to tap out? And Balor, with those repeated knees, gets Punk off of him. Gets out of the hold. Balor now throwing Punk into the ropes. Beautiful stomp on Punk. Got great air on that and just gets a 2 count. Bit of a more even back and forth than what either man may have been anticipating. It was Punk who cost Balor the United States Championship against Gunther, cost him his chance to become U.S. Champion on the last SmackDown that we booked 2 episodes ago. But Punk picking up Balor, hit him with a go to sleep that he can't pin him. It's on the outside. This is a Falls Count Anywhere match. 2, 3, Punk does it. Punk puts Balor away, who was not expecting Punk to be in his element on the outside of the ring. That is where Punk has sometimes been at his weakest. But Balor takes advantage, or rather Punk takes advantage of Punk's supposed Achilles heel and overcomes that obstacle here tonight, putting potentially Balor in his rearview mirror. Big win here tonight for CM Punk. As we head on into WrestleMania, what does WrestleMania have in store for the straight edge savior? Punk back from injury and better than ever, really. Amazing 4-star match. I don't know if I'd go that far, but hey, I'll take the 4 stars. All right, good shit. Good shit. We don't give a fuck about Raw, so we can simulate their show. Let's see. Oh, we didn't do too bad. Our main event was great. And everything else was pretty comparable. Our opener and main events were better than Raw, so that's pretty good. We also made $91,000. We lost 600 fans? How the fuck did we lose 600 fans? That is very weird. How the fuck did we lose 600 fans? And they gained 2,000. How the fuck does that happen? That's bizarre. Ah, damn. Hunting, what is that, Wyoming? What the fuck is WV? West Virginia. Lita says, I look out into the crowds and just see the same people each week. We need to market our show more. All right, so a little extra investment should get some good returns on the team. Okay, what does that mean? Now we get to reach all sorts of people. All right, Lita hasn't even been here, so I'm not even really sure what the fuck she's talking about. Candace says, hey, Regal, you've seen the work I've been putting in, but I know I can do more for the brand. I'm ready to run a main event match, and I know the fans will be excited for it. This would mean a lot to me in my career. What do you say? Forget it, Candace. I'm sorry. Why would I book Candace in the main event? Maybe her and Jada Parker, but they just had a pay-per-view main event level match at the pay-per-view. Not now. I thought I could trust you. Well, sorry, Candace. You're not a bigger draw. Logan said, they love us, William. Don't you think it's time to take it to the next step? I'm talking, of course, better effect packages. I'll put you on a show with better pyro effects or better within the next couple of weeks. I mean, sure, we'll get better effects for the pyro, sure, whatever. Promised Lita that her next show appearance would feature a Tier 3 advertising or better. Alright, so I guess we can Tier 3 advertising. We can just get this shit now, really. I mean, I suppose, why not? And then, what, fog effects? Isn't that the other one that we promised for Logan? Fuck. Tier 3 effects with a better show appearance. I assume that's in reference to fog effects. Pyro effects. Alright, we will spend some money on that. They can shut the fuck up and leave me alone. What is the next arena, by the way? 450? Alright, we might buy that, just so we can have a stadium for our last couple of shows. We will not buy it today, but we could use it soon. These are always helpful. Reduces injury time for a superstar by 1 week. That is always great. We can use that on Rollins. Send the chosen superstar to a top spot to recover. 6 stamina or more. Always helpful. Let's see. Select the superstar. Blah, 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 blah. Cannot used in the last week of the season. Okay, so we'll use it before then. I will not use it this week. I'll use it for their go-home show. That will fuck up all their logistics. Alright, so we are doing Gunther and Penta. Penta? Who the fuck is Penta? Gunther and Penta. Jesus. Let's see. What are we doing for our main events? Reduces injury time for the superstar by 1 week. How long is Rollins out for? It says it'll reduce it by 1 week, but how long is he out for? We have a lot of people. 2 weeks. He can be back in 1 week if we do use that on him, which I probably will do. I want Rollins in time for WrestleMania. Alright, so we will use that power card on Rollins. Boom. He's back next week. So we have week 2, week 3, week 4, the go-home. That is the go-home week 4. And then WrestleMania itself. Okay. So, I kind of know what our go-home is going to be looking like a little bit. With Fatu and Reigns versus the Usos. I would say let's do Jacob and Jimmy today. Let's, did we have AJ in a match last week? We did not. He was not on SmackDown. I don't think we could book him. He just beat LA Knight. I think it just makes sense to kind of keep along like the same track in which we were going. Like as far as doing Rollins and AJ at WrestleMania. We can have Logan call out AJ. We could do that here. Where's Logan? Logan call out AJ. I'll probably use a power card for the stamina health spa. Oh, I got a stamina. Wesley's at 8. Wesley is at fucking 8. I mean, we might use this on either Balor or AJ. It depends on what the show looks like. All right, so let's do this. Let's do Jacob and Jimmy. We said we were going to do that. Jacob and... Where's Jimmy? Where the fuck is Jimmy Uso? There he is. All right, we'll do Jacob and Jimmy one-on-one. No bullshit. We will clear this promo. We'll put it later on. We'll do Logan and AJ next week on SmackDown, and then that will be where Rollins returns. Well, we will do Rollins and AJ Styles one-on-one at WrestleMania for the WWE title. So that is our Mania match, as well as Becky and Charlotte. Let's see. Let's do Logan. And AJ, right? Logan and AJ. Logan and AJ. We can do Gunther and Penta. Doesn't feel like it should be the main event. We'll do that one here. And then we can have Kane call out. I kind of want to watch that match, to be honest with you. I'm going to have Kane get involved and get Gunther. So I kind of like that. All right. Let's have Jay. Well, Jay has no real reason to call out Roman Reigns. So let's have Roman call out Jay. We can do that tonight. And we can also do Roman and Jimmy one more time next week. I kind of like that. Or Jimmy kind of got involved last week. I think it makes more sense to do Roman and Jimmy this week. And then maybe Jacob and Jimmy next week. Let's do Roman and Jimmy this week. Roman and Jimmy. Boom. Maybe we could save that for next week. I take back what I said. I'm sorry. We can save that for next week. Let's do Jacob first. Jacob against Jimmy. And Roman will call out Jay. Okay, we'll do that. And then next week, Jay can call out Roman if they want to do that shit. All right, so we'll do that. Who else we got? Who else we got? Becky is now a heel. What do we do with her? What do we do? I feel like having her face Lita. We did have Jada call out Julia last week. We should have them face each other on SmackDown the night before Mania. On the SmackDown before Mania, we'll do Julia and Jada one-on-one. We can have Julia... Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Jada has beaten Becky before, so I feel like having them run it back makes sense. Charlotte goes after Becky. And then call out... Julia will call out Jada, and the next week we'll do a tag team match with the four of them. I kind of like that. And then our main event, just like that, we are there. We're having AJ call out, or Logan Paul's calling out AJ, so we'll do that match next week. Punk is free. Rollins is hurt. Wesley is free. Wes is fucking down to 8 popularity points, so... can we do a mixed tag? I don't think so. No, you can't. Okay, I'm just making sure. Just making sure. Okay, let's see. We'll do Punk. Punk will team I kind of like Punk teaming with AJ Styles. That kind of sounds fucking awesome, to be honest with you. Or AJ and Finn. This is interesting. We have AJ, Punk, Balor, and Black, all free. I kind of want to turn Black heel. I mean, it'll only be for the next couple of weeks. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue after this week. What do we do here? What do we do? Black won his match last week. We'll give AJ... AJ's getting called out tonight, so we don't need to have AJ in the show. Balor just got beat by Punk. I say we do Punk and Black. Hey, fuck it. Why not, right? Let's do it. They both won their matches last week. Maybe the winner can be inserted into the United States Championship picture. We'll do an interference. We'll have Balor get involved and then go after Punk. Fuck. Okay, we don't have interference in all of these matches. We can watch Jacob and Jimmy. Alright, we will watch Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso next week. Becky Lynch will face Jada Parker in non-title action. Charlotte Flair getting involved. Julia calls out Jada Parker for a match on the SmackDown before WrestleMania. Gunther and Penta will go one-on-one for the first time. I wish we could watch that, but I kind of need Kane getting involved there. Before they challenge each other for the United States Championship in 2 weeks. Logan Paul calls out AJ Styles for a match. And that match will probably happen... That match will happen next week. I'm just thinking, do we use the stamina thing? I'm going to use it on Punk. Punk being healthy is more important, I'm sorry, than fucking Finn Balor being healthy. If Balor gets hurt on a run-in, then whatever. But we need this health spot on AJ. So let's use it on AJ. Boom, okay. Sorry, Wesley, I know your stamina is 8, but AJ's more important. You can't have another injured superstar going into WrestleMania. Finn is hurt, whatever. But we might end up doing, honestly, Punk, Black, and Balor in a triple threat. That sounds pretty badass, to be honest with you. So our go-home SmackDown for WrestleMania could be... We have 5 matches. It could be a triple threat with these 3, or Punk and Balor just straight up one-on-one. Gunther and Kane for the United States Championship. Julia and Jada Parker. The Bloodline Tag Team match. And then a 5th match... Becky and Charlotte's at WrestleMania. It'll probably be Logan Paul and like fucking Aleister Black. I don't know. I'm not really sure what we're doing yet there. Maybe Logan Paul versus Wesley or some shit. It'll probably be a random match. But yeah, that's what it's looking like for next week and what it's looking like for WrestleMania coming up soon after. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. Be sure to like the video. The support is always appreciated. Check out more episodes of hashtag GSM4GM down below in the description box. And be sure to subscribe as well for more daily content. Until next time, guys, I'm Graham GSM Matthews. Have an awesome one, and I'll catch your ass down the road.